In a slum in Kolkata, where the sky was a ribbon of grey smoke and roofs were patched with plastic sheets, lived a boy named Kabir. He didn't speak, not because he couldn't, but because no one listened. His father was a drunkard. His mother worked 3 jobs, his school uniform was always torn, his stomach always half-fed. And yet, Kabir watched the world like an artist trapped in a cage, eyes wide, hands twitching with stories he didn't know how to tell. He had one treasure, a broken paintbrush with 2 missing bristles. He'd found it in a pile of garbage near a temple. That night, he painted on the back of a torn rice bag, a girl feeding a bird. No one saw it, but that was his first step. Kabir couldn't afford notebooks, so he began painting on walls. Abandoned brick walls, blackened by monsoons and smoke, became his canvas. Every night he'd paint something small, a smile, a pair of flying feet, a child reaching for a star. One morning, a vegetable vendor noticed. "Who's doing this?" he asked. A rickshaw puller said, "Must be some artist from the city." But Kabir never told. He was scared. Who would believe it came from him? Yet every day he painted more, and the wall began to whisper. People stopped, took photos, shared them. Soon locals called it the living wall, and it had one message: hope in small strokes. One night, Kabir saw an old beggar trying to sleep near the wall. He looked like he hadn't smiled in years. Kabir painted a boy offering a blanket to an old man, right above where the beggar lay. The next morning, someone really left a blanket there. The day after, food, then slippers. The wall had started to move people, and Kabir thought, what if I can change just one life every day? One morning, a college student posted a picture of the living wall on Instagram with the caption, "Whoever you are, street artist, thank you." The post exploded. Soon journalists arrived, photographers, NGOs, but no one could find the artist. Kabir stayed hidden. He thought fame was for others, not for slum boys who painted on trash. Until one day, a man in a white shirt and clean shoes waited by the wall until dark. Kabir arrived with his paintbrush. "You?" the man asked. "You're the artist?" Kabir nodded, terrified. The man smiled. "I'm from the Kala Foundation. Come with me." The Kala Foundation enrolled Kabir into a free art school. He had never seen so many colors in one place. He had never touched real canvas before. His hands shook. The teacher, Ms. Aurora, asked him to draw something. Kabir picked up a brush, but he couldn't start. "What's wrong?" she asked. He whispered, "I don't know how to be big." She smiled. "Don't be big, just start small. 1 stroke, that's all." So he did. A dot, then a line, then a petal, then a girl feeding a bird. She clapped. That's how masterpieces begin. 2 years later, Kabir's work was displayed at an art exhibition in Mumbai, titled "The Boy Who Spoke Through Walls." People cried seeing his murals, his stories, his silent revolution. Each painting had a tiny signature, K, 1 stroke at a time. A billionaire art collector offered him lakhs for a piece. Kabir refused. Instead, he said, "Use that money to build art classes in slums." He hadn't forgotten where he started, where his first steps were unseen. Kabir was invited to Berlin for an international street art festival. His mural stretched across an abandoned train station. It showed a barefoot child holding a brush that turned garbage into gardens, smoke into skies, slums into cities. The crowd erupted. A reporter asked, "How did you go from slum boy to world-famous artist?" Kabir smiled. "I didn't. I'm still on my way." "But you're already there." Kabir shook his head. "I just took 1 small step, then another. The world did the rest." Years later, Kabir opened his own school, not with books, but with brushes. Kids came from gutters, from trash heaps, from abuse and addiction. They didn't know words, but they knew colors. Kabir told them, "We don't paint to become famous. We paint to remember who we are." And every child began with 1 stroke, 1 dot, 1 whisper. In a TEDx talk watched by millions, Kabir stood on stage with his first paintbrush, the broken one. He held it up and said, "This didn't look like a weapon, or a key, or a sword. But it saved me. It led me out of silence. Not in leaps, but in whispers. In small, steady, unseen steps. He paused. Then he smiled and added, "And if you ever feel like your steps are too small to matter, just remember, so is every brushstroke in the Mona Lisa. Greatness isn't born in the loud, the fast, or the lucky. It's built quietly, in back alleys, on torn paper, with broken tools, by people the world never saw coming. Take that one step, make that one move, paint that one stroke, and one day the world will look back and see your masterpiece."